You don't know already.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. I'm talking to you guys about why the good girl finishes last. Yes, the first in the series for the ladies. We are talking about ladies. Stop the Bob the Builder. Stop trying to build a man, okay? Because it won't work. Okay, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, clicking that bell button for notifications of what up loads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got a minerals, you got a minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, we've been doing the male version, and we're continuing that onwards. But the girls one also wanted some, so I've started now documenting some of the girls as well. So why good girls finish last? And we're talking about the Bob the Builder. What does that mean? Bob the Builder is a character who builds things, and so today's episode we're talking about is ladies, you need to stop building these type of men. You will finish last. And I want to tell you a little story to kind of get you to understand this. So as always, we start with a story, and the story begins with Mary Shelley Ann writing a book called Frankenstein. Now, the story of Frankenstein is simply of a doctor called Frankenstein who makes a monster, all right? And this doctor creates this monster from artificial pieces of corpses to make up this man, okay? So Frankenstein is brought to life, but only when the pieces of these corpses are brought together, and it becomes the monster that he becomes. Very, very short story. I want you to understand something. Number one, ladies, you are the doctor. And number two, Frankenstein is the man. Number three, the pieces of corpses are the ideologies, the thoughts, the experiences of ladies in the past trying to weave together things that are dead into life. You're trying to resurrect things that do not need to be resurrected. Ideologies, your father's, how your father said a man should be, and all these kind of things that you've got in your head of an ideology of how a man should be perfect for you, and you've pieced them all together to create your ideal man. You've built your ideal man, okay? And I want to say this statement. Building isn't helping. Building is in you doing for them what they could not do. Let me say it again. Building isn't helping. Building is in you doing for them what they could not do for themselves. Okay, so let me give you some analogy. You have two children, okay? One of them doesn't wake up in the morning, doesn't dress themselves, doesn't make themselves breakfast, okay? Doesn't go to school by themselves, right? This child you wake him up, you get them dressed, you have to make sure their tie's on straight, you have to make sure their shoes are on straight, you have to make sure that you walk them to school, you have to basically get their food ready, you have to do everything for that child, right? And there's another child where you don't wake that child up, the child wakes itself up, okay? Yeah, it gets ready, it puts on its clothes, it gets breakfast. Yes, it makes a little bit of a mess, okay? It puts on its clothes. Yes, the tie is not straight, etc., etc. And when the woman comes in, she straightens the tie. Yes, she cleans a little bit of the mess of the food on the table, okay? And let's say maybe he forgot, his packed lunch for the day. The difference between the two children is this: the second child is self-sufficient. It just makes a few mistakes. That isn't building. That's helping. Let me make it very clear. The first child has no hope. It doesn't do anything on its own. It's not self-dependent. It's not independent. It's solely reliant upon you, and you're building them. You're helping them do things that they would never do for themselves. They are showing no initiative. Okay? This is very important. Okay, so when we're talking about building, we're talking about supporting the man emotionally, financially, mentally, spiritually, in things that he wouldn't do himself. Here's an example of spiritually. He never reads his Bible, he never prays. Yeah, as a Christian, let's say, never reads his Bible, never prays, but only does these things when you get involved. That's building the man. Okay, he's showing no initiative. Okay, financially, okay, listen, he never wants to, he's not trying to climb up the ladder, he's not trying to get a better job, he's not looking for a better job. You're having to do all the searches for jobs, you're applying for all the jobs, he's simply just clicking apply. That's what, he's not doing anything. Okay, he's not doing anything. He's not taking initiative to do this himself and look for jobs. So guess what? You're doing all the hard work. That's building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he's showing no initiative, that is building. When you are helping him as he's doing, that is contributing. There's a difference. I don't want you to confuse the two, because you're going to get stuck into a sphere of women, some women out here who will tell you, listen, don't ever help your man if he's, because, no, we don't want that nonsense. I want you to understand, when we're talking about building a man, we're talking about a man that has no initiative, okay? Him having an idea, that's great, but how come he hasn't put this already into factor? Let me tell you something. If you weren't there, he would have found a way. I'm not saying you don't help him. I'm saying to you, if you weren't there, he would have found a way. You know what I'm saying? When you seek a man out who is less emotionally, mentally, financially established than you, with the intention, listen to me very carefully, with the intention that when you meet, you will be the cause of their upgrade. That is building a man. That's Bob the Builder. When you meet them with the intention that when they meet you, you will upgrade them. You are building a man. You are no longer in the business of partnership. Let's talk about this. Here's the reasons why Here's the reasons why this happens. Pride, wanting control, people pleasing, motherhood energy. You don't think you deserve better, and you don't set good boundaries. Okay? Those are instances of why this particular thing happens. Let me fresh it out a little bit. The wanting control. You built a man so that you can control him. When they built Frankenstein, they built him to be controlled. They didn't build Frankenstein to be on his own and think freely. They built Frankenstein to be a monster for them. So it's about control, and that comes from a place of insecurity. That comes from a place of pride. Okay? Yeah, you built this monster to serve you, not to partner you. Yeah, I know you might have had ideas that, yeah, we'll be a couple together. No, but the intention might have been right, but the core beginning of it was there's a selfishness in there. Let's talk about it. There was an ego and there was a pride. Why? Because at the end of the day, the plaudits and the praise that you receive at the end is gratifying for you. Yeah? It's all about building him so that you can receive and win and show to everybody else you built a man. It's about you being able to almost, that you single-handedly dragged him over the line, hoping that, yes, he will make you feel like the most specialist woman by celebrating you and worshipping you by the fact that you've done this for him. Yes, if I do this for him, he will love me to eternity. Why? Because I've built him. That's the ego. That's the pride. That's the ego and the pride talking right there. That's the people pleasing right there. Doing something for them with the real hope of being able to have a beneficial end, that they will love you and like you, rather than actually, this is the goodness of my own heart. Bob the Builder, can we fix it? That's what you're doing right now. Okay? And you cannot build perfection from imperfection. It's impossible. You're trying to build something from the dead. If the intent, and here's the thing. So and when I say build something from the dead, not that women don't build men, it happens a lot. What I'm talking about is that you build men for a relationship that they cannot fit into. They were dead before they entered that relationship. They were not on this thing that you were talking about. You built them up. But you built them up for not your relationship. When they built Frankenstein, they didn't build Frankenstein to be a man like they were, because he was ugly, repulsive to look at. He was odd shaped. He had different body limbs in things. He was not shaped for the culture and the society that he's meant to be in. He was not built for the relationship. You built a man, or you raised him from the dead, and he wasn't meant to be in the relationship that you've called him for. When we are born again and risen, we're not underneath the law anymore. We're not underneath the old construct no more. We're not underneath the old covenant no more. That man will no longer be the man that you wanted. Because when you sort him out in the low place. You will not like him in the high place, because he's not that man no more. He doesn't exist. Okay? The man that you've created is now hideous to you. Okay? He's hideous to you, and he's hideous also to himself. He's hideous to himself in reflection to you, because he knows that you will always have a say that you built him. Because he understands that women, and this, again, I'm generalizing here and going by Genesis 3 in the Bible, women have a need to control, in terms of the fact that the Bible says that a woman will yearn after a husband, but the man will rule thee. The woman has a need to manipulate, to hold, to control the man. And so in this particular instance, what's going to happen is, if you've built me, you're always going to use it against me. If you've built me, you're my creator. I'm subjected to you. So that man most times will not be I should say grateful to you, because the thing that hangs over his head is that you are his creator. It's madness. Don't do it, ladies. Open doors by all means. Yes, help them by all means. Yeah, but do not sacrifice you. So, and this is the thing, when the doctor did this, he sacrifices morality. You sacrifice you when you decide to build Frankenstein. Maybe you didn't think it was Frankenstein at the time, but you took dead things and brought them to life. This person had no intuition and no initiative to go the way he was going, but you dragged him in that direction. Oh man, I'm telling you. Yeah, so the scientists thought they had control over Frankenstein, but when they realized Frankenstein was killing people, Frankenstein was not underneath their rule no more. And what happened? The first thought was, let's kill Frankenstein. Yeah, so what's going to happen to you is that once you realize the man is not underneath your control, once you realize the man isn't doing what you want him to do, what happens? You want to nuke him. You want to fight him. You want to fight him, because he is no longer the guy that you want him to be. He's not grateful like you wanted him to be. He's not thankful the way you wanted him to be. He's not doing what you want him to do. He's now high caliber. He's changed his whole circle of circumference. He no longer has time for you. You thought that it was all gonna be in your favor. You've built a monster. Yeah, and so you have to understand, Frankenstein ends up killing the doctor, and that's why most men terminate the relationship after they've been built, because they've been created by you, and we look hideous in your eyes, and now I resent you for making me. Even though I'm better, I resent you for making me. I resent you for creating me. This is what's going to happen. Ladies, do not build a man. If he has no intuition and he has no initiative, you do not enter the fray. And another thing is this: a slave cannot give to the master what the master can give to the slave. If you've built a man, you've built a slave. You've not built a partner. You see, in helping someone, you gain a partner. In building them, you've created a slave. You understand? Yeah? So the monster you've built either kills you or will end up killing you and end up leaving you in most cases. So what I'm saying here is this: the good girl tries to build a man. Why? Pride, ego, people pleasing, wanting that person to love them because they've built them. But actually, it ends up ruining them. Ladies and gentlemen, or ladies specifically, do not build a man. It's that simple. Don't do it. This is not IKEA, okay? We're not here for that, yeah? Appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll talk to you guys soon.